and everybody's invited. It's a free program from the 7th to the 10th of November, 7 p.m. each evening and 6 p.m. on the Sunday the 10th at our place there in Bakau, and we are grateful. 25 years. And when I think of it, there's so much we can be grateful for. If I start listing the things, I wouldn't end. If I start listing the names of people, I wouldn't end, because we've crossed 2 republics, First Republic, Second Republic, and we are grateful to everybody from our nurturing baby stage to now that by the grace of God, we are what we are locally and globally also. There are 2 things running up and down in my mind. One of them is the fact that life does not give you what you cry for, what you beg for, and just what you desire for, what you wish for. Because a lot of people can sit and daydream. They just sit and maybe put their hands on their chin and just imagine, if I had 10 million, if I was a rich woman, if I was a rich man, if I was this color, if I was that gender, if I was born in this nation, if I had this visa, and if I had property down the beach, and sea, and all that. And there is a part of that that's good, because it's good to dream. But you also have to come to reality and then look for steps, sometimes bite-sized steps, that would lead your dream into its actualization. The joy that I have in my heart about it is that knowing God and placing your life in God's hands and accepting the salvation plan of God through the Lord Jesus Christ opens vistas of life for you, because then you have God who is practically, personally involved in your life. So you just don't read his counsel as a literature piece, but when he says, I will instruct you in the way that you should go, I will counsel you with my eye, and I will teach you my precepts, you know that he's really going to do that. When he says, I will order your steps, you know he's going to do that. When he says that the afflictions, the problems of the righteous person are plenty, but I will deliver him and her from them all, it's true. And with that guidance, you are able to come into like a sharpened point life living. You are able to be more proactive, be more vision oriented, action result oriented, because there is a mandate running through your heart. You look at environments around you, you look at people, you look at situations. Some may be positive, some may not have started, some may be on the journey to being accomplished. But when you look at it all, you look back at yourself and say, this is what I was born to do. Recently, I was speaking my heart to the church, because October is our last church month, so I tend to just speak freely. And one of the things I spoke about, I will speak about tonight to you. I asked the church the question, why is it that in a very big aeroplane, an aircraft, let's say a 747, a 757, a 767, an Airbus 320, 319, the 747, the A380, why is it that some of these planes that have maybe 350 seats, 250 seats, 400 seats, they only have about 12, 16 in business class or first class, and the rest of all the 300 seats are in a class called economy? Some people call it coach, some airlines call it world class. Whatever name you go by, you know that it's that class where you are a passenger, but you are not treated with the kind of care and comfort that the people in business class or first class enjoy. And having had the privilege to fly on all those classes in different aircraft, I can tell you that first class and business class is to be preferred any day, anytime, anywhere. And just by the name, business class or first class. And the other one is called economy or coach. And so sometimes, you know it if you've traveled, when it comes to feeding, you're probably given 2 options, you know, chicken or beef, pasta or fish, and then they'll come on there and say, well, they apologize if your special choice is not available on today's flight. But that's to the people in the economy section. The people in business class and first class have exactly what they want, and they have extra additions added to it. Now, somebody may quickly say, well, that's a division of people, those who have and those who have not. The choice really is yours. And I am looking at life from that angle. Do you want to live your life in economy, or do you want to live your life in first class? Sometimes you can work for a company and occasionally they give you the courtesy of flying first class. It doesn't happen all the time, except you are either at an executive level or you are paying for it or something. But those who are at that level, and then by virtue of the kinds of perks that airlines come with, you are a silver medallion, gold medallion, platinum, it comes with so many other things. You can check in free, you can be picked by a limousine from your home, your baggage has priority tagging, you can, when you land, you can go to a special line to check in, you go into a special lounge, you can have breakfast, lunch or dinner depending on when you arrive, you can have a free massage and all kinds of things. It's nice, but yet it's not the exclusive preserve of a few people, because I don't think anybody was born flying economy and business class. You work into it like anything else. Nobody was born with a master's degree. Nobody was born with a bachelor's, with a PhD, with an MBA. You move into it, and chances are everybody starts moving together. From nursery, preschool, kindergarten, onto primary or grade school or whatever it's called, and then you go into middle school, and then we get into a point where somehow we begin to divide. And it's not so much the academic curricula, it's not so much the structuring of life as it is how much determination, how much focus, how much intentionality you want to put into your life to make sure that you will fly in the business and first class cabin of life and not in the economy cabin, because there are all kinds of excuses. Unfortunately, in this side of the world, in our continent, if you were flying in economy and the plane was delayed or the flight was cancelled, rest assured that they are not going to give you any special treatment. Maybe after a lot of noise at the airport by some die-hard passengers, you may get some drink or something. In some airlines, you don't even see the managers, everybody vanishes. But if you're a first class passenger, if you're a business class passenger, the treatment is different. And so if you travel in economy, you always hear this phrase when they start announcing the pre-boarding and the boarding. They normally say, well, people with children who need help, children under 5 and all that. And then somewhere you'll always hear, if you listen carefully, especially transcontinental flights, you'll hear this phrase that business class and first class passengers can check in at their leisure. The plane is not going to leave them behind. They are not queuing. I remember being on one of those airlines in one of those classes, and I was playing a game on my iPad, and the lady said to me, Reverend Forbes, you're not eating your breakfast. And I looked up, I said, she knows my name. Now, because in that class, maybe there are 12 of us, so a special treatment. But in the economy class of 300 people, they're not going to know all the names of 300 people. And as funny as that may sound, the question is, in life, which class do you want to fly? Which class do you want to sit in? I made a statement also as I spoke to our church that recently in a religious organization, the head of the organization announced that they were going to build a very huge edifice, very, very huge. And everybody screamed, and he said he wants that edifice ready in a year's time at their next annual program, and everybody screamed. And then he made a statement, and he said, if you're one of the 10 people who are going to contribute, and he called a very huge figure, then see my secretary. And of course, the clapping died down because the amount he called makes your stomach rumble. And automatically, there was a separation. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the truth about life is that if the Republic of the Gambia wanted to build this magnificent TV studios with all these cameras we see here, with the OB van and everything that makes it work digitally and satellite, and we wanted to build it nationally by every Gambian contributing $5 C, $2 C, $1 C, and the children doing a sponsored work and Bob a job, by the